By the way, if you see a little advertisement at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the video, please do not skip it. By doing that, you're helping me a lot. Come on, guys, it's just a few seconds of your life, and it will really make a difference for me. I'm counting on all of you. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Sean. Welcome to Rock Talks again, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thanks, Pierre. It's great to see you again, man. Long time no see.
Oh yeah, how are you tonight?
Good. Just been busy, a lot of music coming down the pipeline for me. So I've just been really trying to stay focused and kind of get everything in order, and it's been madness. Madness.
Sounds great. All right, let's talk about your new project called Vented, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
What can you tell us about the musical style of this new project? Maybe later the lineup, the single release date. Go nuts.
So this band started a little over a year ago, and Greg, he's a Hungarian guy. His name is I think Gergo in Hungarian, but it translates to Greg. So he hit me up and he's like, "You want to do some vocals on a track?" I said, "Sure." He has really good tone. He reminds me of a lot of like Rob Arnold. I mean, those are some of his heroes, like that, like, I don't know, just that fucking tone is just so clean and so nasty. Machine Head, like, reminds me of those early Machine Head riffs. Even has a little bit of Daath in it, and then obviously a lot of Slipknot behind his riff writing. So yeah, we did a song. I sent it back to him, and he goes to me, "Fucking song's amazing," and I couldn't stop listening to it. I'm like, "Bro, it's so good." And he's like, "You want to do another one?" So we did a second song. Same vibe, same thing. Literally like 24 hours, I turned it around. We get to 3 songs, and it's like, "Do you just want to do an album?" So eventually we get to, let's do an album. So he sent me, I think over the course of like 4 or 5 months, like 17 tracks that we completed. Yeah, so we have a lot, but there'll actually only be 12 on the actual album because we're considering the other 5 or 4 as album 2, which is pretty much already halfway done. So I had this vision for this band. We wanted to do Audio Nerve. That was like what he was doing previously, I guess. But I had been talking with Joey a lot, and we had been in touch, over the last few years. And I know he was just kind of doing nothing. I'm like, "You want to do drums for this?" So he said, "Yeah." So we kind of started sending some songs back and forth. I sent him the first song I did, which was called Vitriolic. And I was like, "This is perfect. It literally sounds like Slipknot." I mean, it even has like a Slipknot-esque name. And I keep like checking. I'm like, "Oh, please don't make a song named Vitriolic." To my knowledge, there isn't one, but I fear that the next album will have one. I'm like, "Hurry, we gotta get this shit out before they do." So anyways, we start kind of piecing back and forth and getting name ideas and bouncing them off Joey. And he didn't like Audio Nerve because it was too close to Audio Slave. So we kind of threw some names, and he really liked Vented. Obviously, we didn't know about Vended, but I mean, they do mean completely 2 different things. The musical style is completely different, and I don't really give a shit because Joey helped pick the name, and it just has something sentimental to me about the name. So we're just going to have 2 bands with 1 letter difference in the world, unfortunately. But the music speaks for itself. Yeah, he did lend some credit and some help to like some writing of the parts. But unfortunately, before I could get him to actually do any writing, he passed. But he helped with the logo and everything. I mean, he like basically Slipknotted it. He's like, "We need to pull the V up here, or make the T more sharp, or make the N, different." Yeah, and it was literally him that came up with it. So, and I have the text to prove it. I've had to show it to some people. I'm like, "Look, see." So that's why we're keeping it. And I've been in some talks, doing this Daath stuff with some guys, and one thing in the metal community is they like a story. So, and it's true. I mean, most bands that are out there, they always have some origin story, or this guy died, or this guy moved on, or he fired his whole band, and it just keeps people talking constantly about your band, So anyways, Joey passes, which was, obviously fucking terrible. I mean, it really kind of wrenched my fucking heart. I was talking to that dude every day, man. We had become really close friends. And, obviously just I don't know, I can't even really go down that road. But he never got a chance to do any drums. So we had asked Ernie, the guy who just took over drums for Suicide Silence, and he said maybe he had some touring obligations. He may be able to do it, at the end of the year, but turns out he couldn't do it. And so I reached out to Austin. I said, hey, Austin Diamond, I said, would you mind? You want to do some drums to this project? And he heard a couple of licks. And he was like, "Pop, dude, I'm in. Like I am in." So
the guy from Devildriver.
Exactly. So we kind of did a trade deal where he said to me, like, actually, I was about to hit you up to do some vocals. So there's another project I have with him, and I can't really say anything else more about it. But the guitar player is an amazing writer, and we wrote 13 songs in like 7 days. Like I just crushed them. So that's something that will happen later. But yeah, when I initially hit Austin up, he was like, you want to do some vocals on this? I said, if you'll do some drums on this. So dude, Austin fucking killed it.
Oh yeah.
He knocked out he knocked out 12 songs when he did the recording in like 8 hours or something straight. Like
Really?
no breaks.
Oh.
He fucking killed it. So and then I got my buddy Simon, who I do a couple of electronic projects with, and he lent the samples to the project, and that just made it all come together. And then my buddy HK, the guy who mixed Sinsaenum's last record, who also worked with Joey. It was the last thing Joey worked on. Technically, he mixed and mastered it. So it all had this like interweaving, like homage to Joey, and Austin's drums even kind of like pull from that early Slipknot era. Like you can just hear it, man. It's just so wild. But yeah, then the rest is history. Now the object is to finish all the stuff behind the scenes. I mean, we haven't really released anything, so all of the social media stuff has basically just been word of mouth. We will finish the video. I think we'll have the first lyric video come out next month, and that will coincide with the single. June, and that'll be for Requiem for myself. And that is it'll be a lyric video where like my face is there, and there'll be like words kind of going all over my face, and and I have the menacing mask on. And then we finish shooting the video for the end game, and right now Austin has to do his parts, and then we'll edit it, and we'll probably release that in like August, obviously coinciding with the single, and then we'll try to look to maybe drop the album in October. And obviously at that point, once we start dropping singles, I'll start like pushing to the metal websites. But I've kind of just been like, if people follow it, they follow it. It's more, we don't really have a product, so there's not really any, I mean, I do, but nothing out that I want to be like, hey, metal sucks, please post this. And then they post it, and, like, and there's no link, and there's no video, and there's no song. So you got to like do everything in the correct order. So all the people that have been following it are just randomly, catching on to it. So there haven't been many, but again, we haven't really made any announcements, but
just a matter of
look forward to it, man. Yeah, it's just a matter of time, exactly. So that's pretty much what's on the schedule for that. And I do like the band because I did have the mask created for it, and it's kind of a grotesque mask. It's supposed to like split my face, where it's molded after my face, but I wanted it to look like it was me wearing makeup and not wearing a mask. So you have that Phantom of the Opera kind of leather face vibe. Like if you look at this side, it's the still alive side, and it has the fucking the holes and the trypophobia shit, and then if you look at the other side, it's like the dead side. So I don't know, it's just a kind of a cool concept that I was able to put in place. So my buddy makes good masks.
Do you plan to wear the mask on stage for this project?
Yeah, this project will always just be me in that mask, because that's kind of where I pulled from to write a lot of the lyrics. It's funny because they're very dark in a lot of places, and I didn't write them to be about Joey, but as he passed, it's weird how it's almost fallen into place where they're like, fuck, they just like make sense that it was about Joey, but they're not. I mean, like Endgame is about the show Squid Game, and I think, what was the one? The Darkness, that was about that show Manifest. I had a lot of like time to kind of write about things during the pandemic. So I
Yeah,
really explored some really cool lyrics and
all the TV shows that you watched during the pandemic.
yeah, basically, yeah, that affected me or stuck in my mind or I definitely pulled from some pretty cool places to write that stuff.
So why is the album called Cruelty and Corruption, or will be
Yeah,
called?
Yeah, it will be called Cruelty and Corruption. It just looked the best. I mean, I feel like it was just at the time, that's just what was going on in the world, I mean, with COVID and, there were all those fucking riots going on. And um, I don't know, it felt like the world was just becoming more cruel and more corrupt. And so it just seemed like the perfect title for a debut EP. Yeah, and we had a guy on Fiverr actually do all the art for us. I had a concept of like a woman with like slits in her eyes, like vents, and like kind of her head missing, and a very like in the sewers kind of what was that movie where the girl comes out of the TV?
Poltergeist,
The Ring. The Ring.
or
You watch the video and within 7 days you die, and then she like crawled out of the TV. Like,
oh, yeah, I remember.
so there's actually there's some elements and visual stuff in the artwork that kind of pays homage to that. Just I don't know, because I thought it was kind of cool and creepy.
So this first release will be an EP, not an LP.
Well, I mean, it will be an LP, but I mean, like I said, I think we'll do the singles. So I guess I didn't really mean to say EP. I meant like we'll do 2 singles.
Oh.
Yeah, and then it will be an LP. It'll be a full length. It is 12 songs. And man, just the stuff we have in store is really really going to be cool. Like the shirts and all the lyrics that'll be on the shirts. Like some of them are just so fucking perfect for shirts.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
But it
really
does have a
looking forward to this first video out, because this band looks really visual
yeah,
with
yeah,
the
it is
mask
very
and
visual.
everything.
Exactly. The idea is to just be, I don't know, kind of create my own thing. I know it's cliche to have a mask, but nobody else in the band does. But it's more like I didn't want it to look like a mask again. It's just easier to put on and take off every night versus having to put on all that makeup and shit. So it was just like I want something that is easy to breathe out of, that looks just fucking gross when you look at it. I want people to like cringe, and I get a lot of reactions like that, so I'm happy. Like I hear people that are just like ew, or like great, now I'm gonna have nightmares, I need to scratch my face. And there's a part on it over here on the mask where Kevin, his name is Kevin Penders, he makes masks, so if you're interested in a mask, he does them for a pretty fair price. I mean, he does have a lot of labor and time and materials that goes into it, but he actually used one of his real baby teeth in the mask. So it has like a piece of him. And if you like look at it, he even put like a kind of a thread around this part of it. So it connects with my beard almost perfectly. Like the dude just fucking, I literally didn't give him shit. He just used my picture and molded my face perfectly. So I'm very impressed with the work that he did. Yeah, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I can tell that it's not a typical mask. It's not like a Slipknot mask. It kind of looks similar in a way, but you can tell that this is different, and I can totally relate to the Phantom of the Opera thing.
Good, awesome. Yeah. It's like you're grotesque, and that's the side over here. But then you have that leather face where it's like you've stolen somebody's face or their identity, and that's like the dead side of you. So it's like your split personalities, the grotesque, and like being kind of dead inside a little bit. But yeah, I mean, most masks that I've ever seen usually are just nothing. They're just a mask of some random shit, whereas this is actually my fucking face. I'm wearing a version of my face on my face, so I haven't really seen that done much. So it was kind of, or ever, I mean, maybe it's been done, but as far as I know, I don't know anybody who's really done exactly that, where it's basically your face. It's like
looks gross and interesting at the same time.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, exactly. It's eye catching, and I think that's a big part of it. So I hope it does well.
So you have a couple of pretty interesting guests on this album: Aru Luster, former Il Nino, Machine Head, and now Lions at the Gate, and Matt Shlakta, your former bandmate from your Chimaira days.
Yeah. And you can, I mean, it's kind of a cheat, but if you go to his Instagram, Data Skeleton, and you scroll down, it's only, you know, like 20 posts back, but he actually recorded the entire solo that he did on the record, and he put it on his Instagram. So it's really good, and he even sent me all the tab for it. I mean, that dude's a fucking pro, man, and his
Yeah.
solo is it's just
He's a
fuck,
teacher,
so
actually,
good.
right?
What?
He's a teacher, actually.
Yeah. He is really good, man. I mean, he's one of the best in metal right now, I think. I mean, and he does. I mean, I think he still does the Broken Hope thing, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
just so fucking good. And it's, you know, like he had a lot of fun doing it. That was for New Trend. It's a song called New Trend that we made. And it's basically about like social media, and you know, I think that's actually the chorus. It's a social media trend. Yeah, you can meet me in fashion land. Thoughts and prayers are never enough. Uh, don't look at me, you worthless fuck, or something like that. That's the chorus. So it's very it's very brutal, and they're easy to understand lyrics. I think is really the thing. I just wanted to kind of be myself, and this band allowed me to just do what I wanted to do and write what I wanted to write. And you know, I did a lot of those like early Corey screams where you get those like you know, those build up like I don't know, like the scream before the scream, you know, the pre-scream, we'll call it. So I did pull from a lot of that, but I also did get very melodic on the album. There's some really good singing songs, but they all have heavy. There's not like this is an only singing song. It's a nice blend of, you know, you'll get some death metal, you may hear a little deathcore, you may hear some actual singing, you'll hear my actual like, you know, most brutal version of Slipknot I could be. You'll hear some Daath screams, you'll hear some black metal, you'll hear some singing with death metal under it. Like there's all kinds of
Yeah.
cool things and atmospheric effects to hear.
I get the chance to listen to 2 tracks that you sent me today. Oh, today or yesterday, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Really great stuff, man. So really looking forward this project to be out on the road. So is there any touring plans for this project?
Yeah, we since we didn't really have a bass player, because Greg was the bass player, he's in another band called Omega Diatribe, or Omega Diatribe, and they're like a Hungarian band. And the guitar player from that band actually did the bass stuff for our music video. So if it came to shove, push came to shove, and we needed to tour, yes, we actually did get an offer to play some rock metal festival in Hungary next year. So if the price is right, then we would do it. And then obviously, you know, as things come together, if there's a need to tour, then I mean, of course, it'd be, you know, stupid to not tour. So we would just have to figure out logistics. That's the tough part, you know, because everyone kind of lives somewhere different. Like Simon lives in the UK. He may or may not be able to tour. But I would definitely tour. Austin would tour, and Greg would tour. So we would just need to kind of fill in the blanks there. But the main core of the band would basically be on tour. Yeah, exactly.
That's bad. If you like this interview, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share the video with all your friends. Also, very important, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell.